I think you probably all know the American flag, but the other flag, blue and yellow, is our Philadelphia city flag. It's the same colors, blue and yellow, as the Swedish flag. I'll tell you why that is when we get back to City Hall. In front of us, just over this hill, is the Schuylkill River. That's where we get our drinking water from. Schuylkill is derived from a Dutch word that means hidden river because it has always been wonderfully protected by these trees, keeping our watershed nice and clean. Tucked into the tree line is also the Schuylkill River Trail, which is a pretty cool nature bicycling and walking trail that starts down in South Philadelphia at a historic botanical garden called Bartram's Gardens, and then it goes 40 miles all the way out to Valley Forge. So if you're really interested in the history of the Revolutionary War in the Valley Forge area, you could ride a bicycle all the way there, but it might be a little bit easier for you to take the number 125 SEPTA bus that leaves from Philadelphia City Hall, or if you have a car with you on your trip, you could drive out to Valley Forge. It's about a 40-minute drive. You can take their free self-guided radio tour, and they also have lots of good hiking at Valley Forge as well. In front of us and to our right, the two tallest buildings in Philadelphia are Comcast 1 and Comcast 2. They are also the 9th and 10th tallest buildings in the United States. Comcast 1 is the one shaped like a giant USB flash drive. It stands at 975 feet tall with a water tower at the top of it and was completed in 2008. To its right would be its sister tower, Comcast 2, designed to be shaped like a giant Nokia cell phone. That is the tallest building here. It stands at 1,100 feet and was completed in 2018. They call that building the Innovation and Technology Center. It's home for NBC 10 and Telemundo, and the top 12 floors, invisible right now in the clouds, serve us today as the Four Seasons Hotel, where you guys can go to treat yourselves to some luxury and some amazing views of our city when it's not this foggy, starting at $1,155 a night. That's why I said you guys. Coming up on our right, there's going to be a little construction zone. This one is going to be a brand new museum that will hopefully be open by the next time you visit Philadelphia. This one is going to be dedicated to the work of the Calder family, a local sculpting family known for their work on City Hall at Logan Square and our Washington Monument back at Aikens Oval. That's father, son, and grandson, and this museum and sculpture garden will be dedicated to them. Can I get a quick show of hands? How many of you guys have been to Washington, D.C.? That's almost all of you. And in D.C., you were probably checking out our national monuments, yes? I don't know what else you would do there. You might have noticed that there was one really important guy who was missing from the monuments in D.C. Do we know who it is? Silence. It's Ben Franklin. Yes, thank you. And that's because our national monument to Ben Franklin lives here in Philadelphia, because this is where Ben calls home. And actually, he lives in this building to our right. This is the Franklin Institute. You do not need to buy a ticket to see the monument to Ben. He's right in the lobby. You can check him out for free. But if you do buy a ticket, you'll quickly find that this is a science museum. On the inside, they have a giant model human heart that you could literally get lost inside of. They have one of the original Wright Brothers planes that was flown by that Grover Cleveland bird dog I told you guys about. And they have some of the original landing rods used by Ben Franklin. Or you can see a show at the planetarium and feel like you are literally flying through space. It's amazing. They just redid their whole space exhibit. It is truly stellar. This is a great museum for kids if you have kids traveling with you, because they have so many fun interactive things in here. But as an adult, I have also had a ton of fun in the Franklin Institute. Another great museum for kids and adults alike is through the trees a little to the right. It's a brick building called the Academy of Natural Sciences. It was the first one that opened in the United States in 1812, where Lewis and Clark came to show off all their findings from their famous expedition, and the home for the very first dinosaur found in North America. That's the Hadrosaurus, found in Haddonfield, New Jersey, just across the Ben Franklin Bridge. The Academy of Natural Sciences is currently running a special after 3 p.m. You can go in for just $10, which is amazing. That's less than half price of the regular ticket. They're also currently showing an exhibit called Under the Canopy, featuring live animals, including a baby two-toed sloth. Her name is Maple. She's very friendly. On our left, we have Moore College of Art and Design. This is the first college that opened specifically with the intention to teach art to women in the 1950s. Although this is a historically women's college, they do now accept students of all gender expressions. They have some really cool student art galleries on display at Moore. I am sad to tell you that this is also the last remaining dedicated art school in the city of Philadelphia. More on that later. On our left, a great view of Comcast 2. This is the tallest building in Philadelphia today. But we used to have a gentleman's agreement that said we would never build taller than the brim of William Penn's hat. That hat stands at 547 feet tall, making Comcast 2 there twice its height at 1,100 feet. We have a few points of interest in this area other than the skyscraper, the first of which is the Mutter Museum. That is a very unique museum in Philadelphia, part of the Physicians College, meant to teach the public and some future doctors about atypical medical cases that they may encounter. And so they have lots of creepy things in there. Skeletons, skulls, organs in jars. They have a cross-section of Einstein's brain and a deadly and medicinal plants garden. Our next point of interest is going to be coming up on our right down the train tracks. That will be Drexel Station at 30th Street, Philadelphia's largest train station, built in 1927. This is where you can get Amtrak to our right to travel out to other major cities in the Northeast and the Mid-Atlantic. You can get regional rail here to travel out to other parts of Philadelphia and the surrounding counties, and New Jersey Transit, so you can take the train all the way to Atlantic City to visit the beaches and the casinos and my mom. The final point of interest in this area, other than the skyscrapers, is Rittenhouse Square. That's another one of the 5 original parks placed here by William Penn. Rittenhouse Square is beautifully illuminated at nighttime if you're looking for somewhere to walk around in the evening hours. And the area around it is known for its high-end shopping and high-end restaurants. If you would like to treat yourself on your vacation, you would maybe like to know that all of the best shopping and restaurants are going to be on the 3 blocks ahead of where we are now, Chestnut, Walnut, and Locust Streets. We're going to be making this left onto the west side of Market Street. And as we do that, I'll ask that you guys take a look down the street to our left. We're going to see a building with pyramidal shapes up at the top. It might be lit up now in just a second. But that building will be One Liberty Place. One Liberty Place was the first building to break the gentleman's agreement and build taller than the brim of William Penn's hat. When it was built in 1987, it was said that there was a curse put on Philadelphia by William Penn. To our left, One Liberty Place. One Liberty Place to our left. The curse of Billy Penn said that we were never again going to win a sports championship. And then, for 21 years, we didn't. There were efforts, of course, to break the curse over the years, including putting a giant Phillies hat and then an absolutely enormous Flyers jersey on William Penn. But none of it worked. Until they were building Comcast 1 in 2008, they made their first serious effort to break the curse of Billy Penn. They put a tiny little statue of him on top of the building, 6 inches tall, and then our Phillies won the World Series. When they were building Comcast 2 in 2018, they feared that curse might strike again, and so again they put a tiny statue of William on top, and our Eagles won the Super Bowl. One Liberty Place is the building with the red stripes on the right side of the street. We'll get to see it up close and personal in just a moment. But in front of us, that's Philadelphia City Hall again. In the 1950s, there was an effort among the public to tear down Philadelphia City Hall. People did not like the French Second Empire style anymore. They thought it was antiquated. They thought a building in the middle of our city would cause us way too much traffic. And maybe they were right. Until they ran the numbers and came to the conclusion that the cost to demolish City Hall would be more than the cost of the original building and a new building combined, because Philadelphia City Hall is the largest stone masonry structure in the world. Every one of its 700 rooms is made entirely from brick. There is no steel anywhere inside of City Hall. Some of the walls are up to 27 feet thick. Beneath William Penn, there are 2 other figures. On the left, a Native American woman with a child. On the right, a man who looks like he might be a pilgrim, but he's not a pilgrim. He is a Swedish man. These are our tributes to the people who came here before us. The Native American Lenape Nation would have been here for over 10,000 years before the Europeans settled here, and the Swedish were the first to settle this area, which is also why we modeled our flag to look like theirs. In front of us, the park around City Hall is called Dilworth Park. Lots of really fun things happen here throughout the year. They're currently having a beer garden and a cafe. They have a splash pad here, so if it gets really hot over the next few days while you're here, you can feel free to come and run through the fountains. That is what they're here for, keeping everybody nice and cool during the summer months. I want to highly recommend taking a walk around and walking through the center courtyard of City Hall. Although it has closed for the evening, it will be open for you tomorrow. All 250 statues on and around the building are totally unique, except for the 4 eagles right beneath William Penn. They also offer a tour that'll bring you to the observation deck right below the clock tower. On our right, a giant clothespin. Some people say you can see a 7 and a 6 in there. Some people say it looks like 2 people kissing. Some people say that it was put here for the politicians at City Hall to come and air out their dirty laundry. But none of that is true, my friends. The artist Oldenburg is adamant this is just a clothespin. It's part of our 1% for art law. I'll tell you about that towards the end of the tour. Coming up on our left, we're going to see a statue of a man named Octavius Cato. He was a scholar and an athlete, president of what later became Cheney University, the most historically black college, and a serious civil rights activist who worked hard alongside his fiancée Caroline the Count to desegregate Philadelphia's trolley system during their time, and they were successful. Octavius Cato to our left. Unfortunately, Octavius Cato was murdered on Election Day, October 10, 1871, just 2 doors away from his own home on South Street for encouraging Black Americans to get out and vote. His legacy is such that his memorial here serves as a popular spot for voter registration during election season. The Community College of Philadelphia is offering a scholarship in his name, offering free tuition to students of color. And it should be known that this is the only statue of an individual Black American in the city of Philadelphia, and it was dedicated in 2017. We are now turning onto South Broad Street. We've got 2 stops on South Broad Street. Just kidding, we don't have stops at night. Sorry, guys. Broad Street is 100 feet wide, as designed by William Penn in the 1680s. We did not need our streets to be that wide back then. We didn't have cars, but William Penn lived through the Great Fire of London in 1666 and never wanted to see his beautiful city down like that. So he put 2 100-foot wide streets in the center that's Market and Broad, so that fire couldn't jump from one side of the block to the other. He put 5 parks around the city, so everyone would have access to water and beautiful